Hey YouTube, Fredo here, Triage Codices. Hope you're having a great day. Uh, Wanted to talk to you about some things that have been going on in the media and that probably people aren't very aware of. And it's a good idea that people start actually getting the information that's out there to see what is going on in the world and make your own judgment. Look at it objectively. Don't take what you've learned and what you know into account for what's really going on, because a lot of these things are, like I've been trying to say for a while, are not as they seem. People have these twisted perceptions on death and religion and God and all these things, and the information is out there. It's all out there, and it's been manipulated and twisted and forged and stamped into new things. And that's how the world works. That's because people want power over another, and I don't understand the benefit of it, but I guess they don't have to do nothing because they have the power and they could just tell somebody to. So that's the only thing I could think of. But so the first thing I wanted to talk about was these Jordan Codices. Now, originally these were found several years ago, and nothing was ever spoken about them. Now, I know I'm an avid searcher in the paranormal. Those that have been on my Instagram account see, the unidentified objects that I catch, and the strange, anomalies that I'm catching in Antarctica, the new pyramids, and things of that nature. And I've always been into these things. So when I heard about this, it kind of blew my mind that I hadn't heard at the time that they had found these things. So what these are is, apparently they found 70 iron, like, forged books that are like a binder. They have the metal rings, and there's 70. 7 of them are completely sealed all the way over 4 sides with the rings, and apparently match the description of the 7 seals from Revelations. I don't know if that's true, but they said it does match the description. I'm sure they don't know yet either, but that's what it is. That's what they're saying. And there's a bunch of other things in here, and apparently there's a lot of writings straight from Jesus himself. And my mother was Catholic, Christian. I grew up in that Catholic Christian, side of things, and and so I know, I've read the Bible. I know those things, and I always knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know it was to this extent. And they basically came to the conclusion that Jesus was not here to begin a new religion. So technically, I guess Christianity really shouldn't be around if that's the case. He was trying to bring back an old religion from the time of King David. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with the story of King David was pretty much the ultimate badass in the Bible. And even though he was a sinner and did go through some problems from the Lord, he was pretty much a renowned fighter, and he is also the man who defeated Goliath, which some people think was, I believe they call him Anunnaki, was from extraterrestrial descent, over 9 foot or 8 foot or whatever it says in the Bible. It's 9 foot or something like that, with a 13-foot spear, 14-foot spear. It's pretty insane if you read it, but it's there. But this is the man that they're trying to go back to. And if you look through the Bible, in the books of there, when they talk about David, there's a lot of information there of how David lived. And David was a badass, but he got things done, and he was right. He tried to do right by everyone, and I think that's what the whole idea is to all this, where people are getting misconstrued on what's going on. Is it's a day-to-day thing for people to hate against another, to lash out against another, to make fun of another, or humiliate, or it's a day-to-day thing. People spend time on the internet literally because maybe they're not happy with themselves, lashing out at others and making people with disabilities and things of that nature feel bad. And that's wrong, and we need to get back to the way it was. We really do. And now I can see why he would try and bring something that of old. And apparently, if if this way of old was the right way, that's what we should be doing, not these new mocked up, manipulated things that are put in there. One of the craziest things that I saw was that women were equals in this. And if Catholic Christian, that women can't be a priest, they can't do any of that. They can just be a nun, as far as I know, is about as high as that goes. But men can go as many as they want, and apparently in Jesus's belief, a woman was, if not equal to a man, but more so inclined to do so, because a woman is easier to know. It's sad to say, but they know compassion and they know love and they know these things a little bit more. They give birth. We don't. We do not give birth to a child. Yeah, we still grow a bond with that child, and we still grow a bond to our baby mothers and things of that nature, but not to this extent where they literally cut them out completely. They cut them out completely, and we have destroyed the self-esteem of women for forever, when they're equals. If not equals, they're the ones that give birth. I hate to say it, but that's a lot more than we fucking do. But I think the main point is really, when it comes down to it, is there's this information out there, and these are things that are going to change the world. It's also come to my attention. I don't know if everyone's familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer and a few of these really ufologists and people that are fighting for disclosure about alien civilizations and things of that nature. And I know these things are true, and I hope that they can pull disclosure off, and I think they have pulled out the biggest hurdle, because now they really do have it into the mainstream where people can access it and see it. And I think there's a whole point in it. They're trying to slowly prepare the masses for this, but I think everybody really should know at this point, we are not alone. They're here. They've always been here. Whatever descendant race that they talked about in the old writings, that we came from, the God that they killed to make us, is from space. So it all makes sense now. It really does. It all makes sense now. If you look at things the way they talked back then, they didn't have a lot of the words that we have now to describe things. So seeing something come from above would be considered the heavens. And nobody had that technology at the time. So if something flies in, immediately you're gonna think something is up. So there's a lot of these things that people need to really open up and look at. There's so much going on right now, but I think the biggest one is that people need to start really looking into their faith and start to put it into perspective the real way, because they're really way off base. It's just about the big guy, the source, the one, whatever you want to call him. It's just about him and your faith in him. And once you're able to get rid of all those materialistic needs and those horrible emotions and those bad actions that you do, you're pretty much capable of anything. So, thank you, YouTube. I'm gonna leave it on a note like this. Please go and get on your computer and look up some of these information. Look up the Jordan Codices. Look up Dr. Stephen Greer. Look up Secure Team 10 and get some information that you need on things that you probably haven't seen. Go to Google Earth, look yourself and see the anomalies yourself. Go look at the International Space Station's camera. It's alive all day. They do shut it off at times when they don't want you to see things, but you can catch them before they shut them off. I promise you that. I do it all the time. So just, take a look at the information that's out there. Everything is out there for us to finally move on as a species and stop being so held up and trapped into this fucking bullshit that we are. So, go get the information, take it, and do something with it. Use it the right way. Take care of your neighbor. Be compassionate. Love your family. Kiss them. Appreciate everything and everyone. If we started to do that, if everybody would stop being so brainwashed and started to do that, we could probably have a pretty good world.